today? What'd you like?
Well, we're talking about defense. We didn't give up a goal,
Yes.
so that's a good thing. But again, I thought we played hard. I thought we tried to do some things. It was hard because guys are double shifting, but we knew it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
So it's part of conditioning, and I think systematically we were trying to execute what we've been talking about over the last 2 days.
You feel like it's getting plugged in?
Well, it is. There's still lots of work ahead of us, and that's probably why I'm not sleeping well at night, knowing that there's still lots to work on, and you only have about 4 days left.
You've got one of the younger teams in the league. And you have so many young guys in the early 20s. You also have Aucoin and Prospel, who are old enough to be, in some cases, close to these guys' dad. What can you get from those guys, those veteran guys, those voices, and what have you seen from them so far in camp?
I know Vinny, so I know what Vinny's going to bring. Vinny brings enthusiasm and energy to practices and in the locker room. I know how he approaches each day, and what I've heard about Adrian is he's much the same. When I talk about that, that's more of the preparation part.
Yeah.
How do these guys go about their daily businesses and taking care of themselves and preparing and being true professionals? It was pretty easy for me in the scrimmage today, from a defensive standpoint, defenseman standpoint, to see who the veteran player was.
Yeah.
And that's truly a compliment to Adrian and how he plays the game, because he thinks the game well, he anticipates well, and it's drawing on all of his experiences that he's had.
You plan with a 48-game, such a tight schedule. Do you plan to give him days off, or does he give you the green light as to when?
We're going to have to manage everyone, not just Adrian, not just Vinny, because they're the older guys on the team. We're going to have to manage guys because guys are going to get banged up. There's going to be illnesses, and we're going to have to manage it. The one thing you really have to try to avoid is a lengthy injury.
Yeah.
If you truly can't avoid it. There's some that you can't, but that's why communication's got to be important. Me to them and them to me.
Do you anticipate days off even if they're not hurt? 3 and 4?
We're going to have to work. I think once we get into the schedule, I think those decisions come very easy.
Okay.
As far as what we need to do, when we need to do it.
Do you have to simplify anything systems-wise because of how truncated the training camp is?
There's systematically some things that we've changed, but to me, I don't look at it, and maybe it's just me being a coach, and maybe players think it's an overhaul change. But to me, I think it's just tweaks to our system, and again, it's going to take some work. The power play for the new guys coming in is really going to be completely new. Nick Foligno, who was in Ottawa, their coach there talks the same way that we talk here, so it's going to be a little bit easier adjustment for him. So I think based on what systems we're teaching, some guys it's a little bit easier, some guys it's a completely different system, so it's going to take some time.
If there were a game tomorrow, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready would you guys be for it? In other words, how far do you have to go in these next 4 days?
Well, this is going to be an ongoing thing. Where are we at 1 to 10? To be honest with you, I don't know. I think even before start of a season, even if you have a full training camp, I think if you were asked a coach, are you at a 10? I bet you every coach would say no. Just because I think you're always looking at ways to improve your team and areas that you can be better at. We've talked about some things. Players are working hard at it, and I think we've gotten better, but we still have a ways to go.
Every team has this short schedule, but you've got a lot of new faces. Does that put you at a disadvantage with new coaches, new faces, or is this a good situation because everybody's going to be kind of in a state of getting together in a hurry? And
I think there's advantages to teams that, Pittsburgh, Dan Bilesman's has been there for a while. Mike Babcock's been in Detroit. He's had same core group of players. I think there is an advantage to that. Bringing in a bunch of new guys, I think there's some advantage to that because there's a lot of energy, and I think players are engaged to what you're saying over a period of time. So I think there's advantages to both, but I do believe that the real challenges are what's going on in Calgary, what's going to happen in Washington with these new coaches going in. I was fortunate enough that, for 41 games last year, I had a good chunk of the players that are in the locker room last year. And they understand the way I do things and what I expect of them. So you don't have that adjustment. I think a new coach coming in with a completely new roster, there's a feeling out period.
Todd, just a few days in here, how have your goalies progressed? Do you feel like they're coming along like you would hope? And do you have any, maybe even some separation there?
Right now, I don't see much separation. I think, Bobrovsky coming in, having played games, I think, and I was expecting a smoother transition, which is exactly what we got. With Steve, I wasn't sure. And to be quite honest with you, I was extremely pleased with what I've seen. Working very hard, and based on what we saw in the scrimmage today, I think both goaltenders played well.
You think that you want competition at every position in camp, but in particular there, do you think that both of those guys, and maybe you're seeing early evidence of that, will benefit from having that guy right there?
It's a great motivator, the battle for ice time, and it's no different with positional players, defensemen who want to get out on the power play or penalty kill, and forwards, that want to score goals or maybe want to be in that last minute situation where they can defend. Goaltenders fighting for ice time, wanting to get in the net and get in the pipes. But playing in this type of schedule that we have, this shortened season and 48 games and cramming a lot of things in. I mean, we're going to need everyone. We're going to not only here, but we're going to need players in Springfield to step in when we need them to.